Right, welcome back to Liam's AP Psychology course. My name is Liam Jinso Kim, your AP Psychology lecturer, and as a continuation of the previous video, in this video we're going to continue talking about learning and personal control. Okay, so coping is about alleviating stress using emotional, cognitive, or behavioral methods. And problem-focused coping is attempting to alleviate stress directly by changing the stressor or the way you interact with that stressor. For example, if you're stressed out about your bad grades, problem-focused coping will be studying hard for the next test so that the stressor, which is your grade, will be changed. And emotion-based coping is attempting to alleviate stress by avoiding or ignoring a stressor and attending to emotional needs related to one's stress reaction. For example, if you're stressed about your bad grades, emotional-based coping will be just ignoring the bad grades, to just play games to not think about the bad grades, or eating ice cream to just feel better. You're not directly assessing the cause of the problem, but you're just trying to feel better, right? Because you don't want to feel depressed. That's what emotion-based coping is. Now we're going to talk about learned helplessness, loci of control, and self-control. Learned helplessness is the hopelessness and passive resignation an animal or human learns when unable to avoid repeated aversive events. Basically, if you can't do anything to avoid the bad events, you feel helpless and give up in the end. For example, let's say your teacher gives you an F every time regardless of how much you studied. Then you would just feel helpless and give up. Another example, your boss criticizes you, whatever you do. You feel helpless because you don't think you can ever get his or her approval, so you just give up. Now these uncontrollable bad events, which lead to a perceived lack of control, will ultimately lead to one's generalized helpless behavior, leading them to give up in the end. Now an external locus of control is the perception that outside forces beyond your control determine your fate. So if you have learned helplessness, this is probably your perception. Now, an external locus of control is the belief that things in the outside, so it's something that is external, is being the key factor, is being the key and the main cause that is imposing a huge impact on the effect or the situation that you are placed in at the moment, or have been placed in the past, or will be placed in the future. So for example, let's say you got an F on the AP Psychology unit test, for example. Then one who believes that the cause is behind the external locus of control would say that, oh, I got an F because my teacher doesn't like me. Or they could find the cause behind something that is directly not related to themselves, like their abilities or the amount of effort that they have put in. They rather choose to find the cause behind the teacher not liking them, or the test being too hard, so that it was really not their fault to fail it, or simply that AP Psychology is too hard, the course is too hard for them, and that no matter how much they try, they cannot pass the exam at all. So these mindsets of finding the reasoning behind something external, which is beyond one's self-control, is called the external locus of control. You may kind of relate yourself to these kind of situations, right? Under the concept of external locus of control. Many of you, I believe, may find your failures behind something that is not really directly related to you, such as your efforts or the amount of time that you have spent with a subject, or like your abilities. You may just kind of be dissatisfied with your abilities. Why can't I succeed in this and that? However, I want to tell you that It is better to find the causes behind the actions based on the mindset of the internal locus of control, which is the perception that you control your own fate. You believe in this case that you can change the outcomes of events. You are more confident. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize how much confidence is a really key component to success. When you believe in yourself, and based on that belief, if you try hard enough, that everybody, including yourself and your friends and your teachers, may acknowledge that you have indeed tried your best. And you have indeed spent lots of time as a subject and have frequently asked questions and posed inquiries to your tutor or your teachers, then I want to tell you that eventually you will succeed in that course or your subject, or even in life in other situations apart from academic scores. You will succeed eventually because based on the mindset of internal locus of control, if you believe in yourself and if you have confidence in yourself and all of your actions that you do, then you will be able to succeed in the end. And I want to tell you how finding the reasoning behind yourself, what you did wrong, or which areas you can improve in after you fail in an academic test, or like even in life in an event, such as something even simple as, well, not simple, but truly saddening as getting dumped by your girlfriend, for example, or your boyfriend. Then find the reason behind yourself. You will be able to improve the next time, right? Improve the next time, and do not repeat the same action that led you to failure this time, right? So an internal locus of control may actually help you a lot in helping you to succeed in future events. Now this is related to the concept of self-control. Self-control is the ability to control impulses and delay short-term gratification for longer-term rewards. Now this is a very good predictor for grades, social success, and income. Basically, you're more likely to succeed if you have more self-control, right? Because as I have told you, if you find the reasoning behind yourself, then you'll be able to assess what you did wrong this time. And then you'll be able to get better next time, right? Not follow the same steps that led you to failure and find a new way and put more effort. And this is the end of today's lecture, folks. You're done with Unit 4. Well done. Oh, actually, you're not done with Unit 4. I lied. We're going to continue on with talking about Module 30, learning by observation in our next video. See you next time, folks. And keep going with your hard efforts. Goodbye, people of self-control.